Hi, my name's KT, and this is Simple Living with KT, the place where we talk about the issues facing our lives in a simple and mindful way. With hustle culture being all the rage today, it's easy to fall into its trap, being that if you work hard enough, then you'll have all your needs met and more. While I would love for that to be the case, I've seen all too often where instead of working hard to reach your money goals, it becomes working hard, spending more to keep up with the Joneses, and then the reward is being able to work harder to keep up with everything. That may work for some people, but for many people like myself, that is not enough. And that's why I think this video is so important. I'm going to share with you 5 tips to master your mindset and money that improved my life. And with these tips as a foundation, you can then create your own personalized goals. Also, certainly if you enjoyed this video or if you have ideas of your own that you'd like to share, please share them below and like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. No matter what your goals are or where you are in your journey, you'll be able to incorporate them into your life. The first tip, which you may have heard before, is to know your why. Knowing your why is not only vital to your goals, but enjoying the process. Have you ever followed the motions of things that you think you're supposed to do in life, like going to a certain school and getting that job or going for that promotion that everyone thinks you should get? And perhaps it might take months and you might realize that's not truly what you want out of your life, or that it doesn't feel like you. That can be the power of knowing your why, because instead of following the motions of what everyone else is doing, you would know your own particular path, your goals, your motives, why you are motivated to take a particular path. And if you realize that you're on a path that really doesn't fit with what you want out of life, you would then be able to have that confidence to change the path. Next, let's look at taking responsibility. Life can be unfair, but there comes a point when you can decide to do something about it. Recently, I came across a very interesting clip of Will Smith, and he said that while your circumstances or something you're going through may not be your fault, if you want to see change and move past that moment, you have to take it as if it's your responsibility to make that change. I'm paraphrasing, but I think you get the hint. This is something I think many people overlook, or honestly, they're not ready to hear it quite yet. For most of my life, I've lived outside of a city where there's no public transportation, it's a small population, and honestly, not many jobs that offer much upward mobility. I could have used that as an excuse or reason why I could not find a better job outside of, retail, or a reason that I couldn't make more money. However, I took what I knew about my situation and looked for what I could do to improve it for myself. That took getting an additional certification that allowed me to get a better paying job that paid significantly more than the retail work I was doing, and then eventually start taking seriously paying off debt so I can work on larger goals like buying a house and investing for the future. If you find yourself analyzing your situation and you're thinking that there's no way forward, instead of freezing in that situation as if that is the end of the road, it's time to consider reframing it as this is my current situation and what steps can I do to get to where I want to go. This should get you to start thinking about your situation in a different way. And over time, it will become easier for you to start thinking of ways out of any situation as a reflex. And I guess that also brings in a little note about complacency and our mind. It is very easy when something bad happens to think, well, that's just the way the cards fall, and there's nothing I can do. And that repetitive thought that keeps happening when something bad happens is going to affect your mindset. Have you ever noticed that there's just like those people who, whenever something bad happens, they always find a way through? Of course, sometimes it is just money. Many times, I think we boil it down to the only difference is that that person who found a way through had money, and me, someone who does not have money, will never be able to find a way through. While you might not be able to create a big, massive change in 24 hours by throwing money at your problem, there are still going to be steps that you can take to improve your situation. So, in my type of situation, a place with no public transportation, I always had to make sure that I made enough money to have a car and also the maintenance and insurance for that car so that I could get to a job. And while I think there are other examples I could use, I think this example of the car is very important because I've spoken to people who don't have cars, have access to public transportation, but refuse to use the public transportation because that's something that poor people do. However, you don't know anyone's story, and maybe they are environmentally conscious, the people who are riding the bus. Or maybe it's just a transitional phase like you might be going through, and you might need the bus to help you get to that next step. Don't let certain ideas that you have about where you are and where you can go stop you from being honestly a little bit creative or maybe temporarily uncomfortable, especially if it's going to help you get to the next level, the next phase of your life. Next, let's talk about comparison. In general, don't compare yourself to others. This is interesting to me because I certainly believe in a good competitive spirit, and there comes a point where if you start comparing yourself to others, especially with social media, you just don't feel like you're adding up. It may be nice to be able to take a peek into other people's lives and possibly see something that gives you inspiration that you may want to emulate in a certain type of way in your own life. However, we're all on our own individual journeys, and that means that everyone's goals, progress, and outcomes, and what they make of their lives are all going to be different, and they should be different. If you find that you're having difficulty with comparing yourself to other people, especially with social media being in the picture, it may be time just to give yourself a break from those influences. During the break, take the time to reflect on where you are, what your personal goals are, and the steps that you've been taking to reach those goals. You may find out that you have been way more productive than you thought, and this comparison that's making you feel poorly is not justified. Or it can just be a really great time to reflect and get back on track. Taking that time away from outside influences and focusing on yourself and what your why is, what your goals are, is a great exercise to make sure that you're keeping perspective, that you're on your own personal journey. Next, let's talk about consistency. Mindset and money behaviors are like a muscle. The more you work them, the more they become like second nature. So far in this video, I've talked about knowing your why, taking responsibility, and not comparing yourself to others. These all really have actions tied to them, but all heavily rely on your mindset and affect your mindset. And these changes in your mindset and money behaviors are not going to happen after watching one video or reading one article. Plugging in every day into a resource that will give you motivation and help you with consistency will help to reach your goals. When my husband and I were paying off debt, and before we really got serious about it as well, we would listen to videos on YouTube and podcasts about reaching financial goals. The changes we made to prioritize paying off debt, limiting impulse buying, and cooking at home were not overnight changes. They started as ideas that we heard through videos and podcasts, and we had to make the decision to implement it in our lives over time. That is consistency. And then after we implemented it, we even had to continue to make the decision to be consistent. It paid off as we paid off over $53,000 of mostly student loan debt in 13 months, and then got so fueled up about it. That is what really started the journey for this YouTube channel. And I do also have a link in the description of this video, all of my videos actually, that links to a free budgeting course. I am soon to upload what I'm calling a Mind and Money webinar series into that course as well, which I really think will help reinforce what we've talked about here in this video, but also just give you actionable steps to help your mindset when it comes to setting, creating, and reaching your financial goals. The course is called Abundance in a Budget, and it's free, and you'll get access to additional webinars that I add there also for free. Next, let's talk about dreaming big. Becoming debt-free is a big deal, but what I realized when I was going through the process myself was that paying off debt was truly just the beginning. The journey of what I learned while we paid off debt, that is invaluable, and I will carry that with me everywhere I go. And now, because of it, I can work on bigger goals, larger dreams, as you will. One of the difficult parts of working on the debt payoff journey is sometimes needing to delay gratification. That could mean not going on that large vacation or not eating out as much as before, but just because you make those temporary changes does not mean you should stop dreaming of the future. My husband and I had dreams of the future that included more time freedom, freedom from feeling like we needed to stay at a particular job, and buying a house. Paying off our debt set the foundation for us not just to dream, but to realize that our dreams were going to become a reality. And when that debt was paid off after 13 months, now, over a year later, I can say that those dreams are becoming more and more of a reality every single day. We have purchased our first home together and moved across the country after quitting some jobs that were not fulfilling. Now we also have some bigger dreams as well, and I'm excited to share those with you when the time comes on this YouTube channel. And so certainly feel free to subscribe if you would like to hear about it along the way. That's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave me a comment below and subscribe to see more videos from me. Also, check out the links in the description specifically for my Facebook group called Live Frugal, Feel Rich, where you'll find free access to the budgeting course, Abundance in a Budget. And I'm very excited for the updates that's coming to that course. It is free once again, and so feel free to join. No pun intended. Thanks again for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, remember to make the decisions that support the life you want. Bye for now.